What's the Chow Chinchows JoesphGames here, and welcome back to the NBA, the National Battling Association. This is our Week 1 match between me, the coach of the Everton Empoleons, JoesphGames, and Lucario Nite. Some people have draft league teams, some actually don't actually have team names in this, and it's just rather fun to have this. It's just a fun league now, and that's really fun. This team is quite interesting that he's got here. So we can see Electros, Tentacruel, Celesteela, Bicephalon, Hooper Unbound, and Ditto. And we have Whimsicott, Victini, Umbreon, Hippowdon, Drill, Excadrill, and Milotech. So let's get started already. Links in the description to Lucario Nite's channel are in the description below, and of course everything that you need to know is there too. And let's get on with this match. It's a bit loud. Anyway, so we start off with Power Zone as he starts off with Grandfather, his Hooper Unbound. He decides to go into Bicephalon as I decide to switch out with the U-turn, which does nothing, but it does allow me to get switch priority. I decide to switch into Baraki, my Umbreon, and go for the Pursuit as he tries to switch out himself, and obviously that's going to hurt because he tried to switch out, which I knew was going to happen. Just realised my mouse was on screen. Sorry about that, guys. He goes back into Hooper Unbound. I go for the Protect to see what he is going to do. And of course he decides to go for the Focus Blast here, which is kind of annoying, but I don't really want to take one of those, so I want to get out of here as soon as possible. He switches into Ditto to copy me, as I switch into Dexy to try and at least get some kind of Toxic on him was the plan, and then see if we can work him down. But as he goes for Protect on the Toxic, it stops me from going for the Toxic. But yeah, I'm going to turn this. I need to turn up the speed here. As I lose energy to the burn, he decides to switch out into Celesteela. I go for the Toxic again, thinking he might stay in, but he decides not to, so can't really Toxic this thing. I go into Whimsicott, and this was a big mistake by me. I needed a free switch into Whimsicott in order to pull off my strategy. I'd have learned that if I did some mocks this week, but sadly I didn't have my mocks. But I did V-Create here, and V-Create did do a lot of damage to Celesteela. Sadly, it didn't kill. An Air Slash almost killed me. So I just switches into Hungry my Hippowdon here, as he switches into Tentacruel and switches back into Ditto, as I switch into Dexy, my Milotech. He decides to switch back into Tentacool as I go for the Scald and get the burn this time. So I got the burn on Tentacruel, which is pretty nice. As he goes for the Scald on me, which doesn't do a lot of damage, I go for the Recover here, which of course gets me my HP back, which is pretty good. And this is just a lot of sitting here waiting to see if we can try and kill each other. But Scald is my only move that does really any damage. I really wish I'd carried like HP Electric or HP Fire, really. He switches back into Hooper Unbound as I go for the Recover. Fearing the Thunderbolt, I decide to switch out here. I don't know if he actually had the Thunderbolt, but like, I do decide to switch out here. He goes and goes for the Nasty Plot. I go, I take the Dark Pulse. Okay, I guess. I'd go for the Earthquake, which does do a lot of damage, but doesn't kill, so yeah, I'm going to have to let Hungry go down this turn. as I go into Power Zone to try and get a quick U-turn off as he switches into Celesteela. I could have gone for the V-Create there, which probably would have been the better option, and finally killed off this, the Celesteela. I go into Umbreon to try and set up, to try and do some damage. Of course, he has, it doesn't really do a lot with Pursuit. Pursuit is my only attacking move. Again, I really wish I'd bought something else. But Pursuit doesn't do a lot, and of course, as we were about to see, he carries something that is really annoying. Because I get him down to like 5 PP, and then he reveals the fact that he is Giga Drain. So now I know that I can't kill this thing with Umbreon. No matter what I do, I can't kill this with Umbreon. As he keeps on spamming Giga Drain, I go for the Protect this turn to try and see if I can get my Wish back. He goes to the Air Slash, doesn't do anything to me. I get my Wish back, and sadly it doesn't really help having my Wish back, because again, as soon as I go for Pursuit, he goes for the Giga Drain, and of course he gets back all the HP he gets back from my Pursuit damage. So it doesn't really work that well for me. As again, I try and go for a Pursuit, and it still doesn't work. I switch into Dexy. Of course, I switch in on a Giga Drain turn, so he gets HP back, which is kind of annoying. I realise that does too much damage, so I can't stay in. As I go into Driller, again he spams Giga Drain, and I can't really do too much. What I needed to do in this situation was to try and get a Wish off and get Victini back up some health, so I could get Victini in and go for the Volt Switch again. That's what I needed to do, and I realised this much more later on in the battle than I should have realised this. Because this is actually where I realised this. As I go into Victini, trying to get that HP back, he goes into Ditto. Ditto's probably got a Choice Scarf, so I can't really do too much damage to this as I go back into Driller to try and bait him into using Bolt Strike, which he does. I go into Dexy here because I don't want to deal with this thing, because this thing could do anything to me, like Scold or something like that. As he goes into Electros, as I go for the Recover. Now this Electros is actually kind of annoying. If I'd bought the set I wanted to bring on Excadrill this week, because I didn't really want to bring Sand, I wanted to bring Mold Breaker this week, but my front office told me no. So I had to go into Umbreon and try and bulk a few shots, but of course that allows him to set up Coil, so sadly doesn't really help in this situation. I go for the Protect, he goes for another Coil, which of course boosts his attack and defense, so now he can literally one-shot me. If you use Thunder Punch, that is. You use Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail doesn't do a lot of damage. I do go for the Pursuit here. I really wish I packed Foul Play now. That would be another thing I really wish I packed. Because if I packed Foul Play instead of Pursuit, that would have been really amazing. But then again, if I didn't pack Pursuit, I wouldn't have been able to deal with Bicephalon. It's a shame, because Umbreon you can only run like one attack on. You can't run like 4 attack Umbreon. I do get off the Haze here with my low tech, but it does leave me vulnerable to a Thunder Punch, and that does hurt. As I go into Driller here to bait out another Thunder Punch, he goes for the Thunder Punch, and of course I baited him out there. I go for the Iron Head, because it's the only attacking move I have that could do damage to him. If I'd had Mold Breaker like I wanted to, I could have got the Earthquake off, and that would have one-shotted this thing. He goes for the Coil again, as I keep on having to spam Iron Head, and it does do some damage. He does get off a Berry, and of course he has Fire Punch, which I didn't realise at the time. Joba goes down. I go into Power Zone here for the V-Create. It leaves him on 13. As he goes for the Aqua Tail and kills off Power Zone. So all I got left is Dexy, and he's got like 5 Pokemon. I do go for the I thought he might stay in, so I went for the haze to try and get rid of status elements. I go for the recover here as he goes for the Giga Drain, which is kind of annoying. And all I got left is spam Scold now. Well, I say spam Scold, but like I'm gonna go for recover one more time. He goes into Hooper as I go for the Scold. And the Scold does do damage, and it actually burns the Hooper, so the Hooper dies to burn, which is amazing. He goes into my low tech. He goes into Ditto as I stay in with my low tech. I went for Toxic, try and get the Ditto down again. And he goes into Celesteela now as I go for recover to try and get my HP back to 100%. Which I'm happy with. I go for the Scold, which does do quite a bit of damage to Celesteela. As he goes for the Flash Cannon, doesn't do a lot of damage to me. So it's basically just me spamming Scold here to see if I can get the Celesteela down. I do get the burn this turn, which is pretty good on the Celesteela, which is brilliant. I think that's quite good. I go for one more Scold, and that takes him down to 1 HP as he goes for the Giga Drain, which did crit. The crit didn't matter, obviously, because I'm still alive. I go for the recover as he goes for the Giga Drain again, which is kind of annoying. I do go for the Scold, and I do finally get this Celesteela down, but sadly doing that does actually leave me vulnerable to getting hit for Thunder Punch here. But I do go for the recover. He goes for the Thunder Punch. It does do a lot of damage to me. And this is the turn where I go for the Scold and try and go for the kill instead of going for the recover and almost saving the battle. As he goes into Tentacruel and Sludge Wave. I would have gone for the recover that turn though. I would have gone for the recover that turn. But GG to Lucario Nite. That was a very good battle. I really enjoyed that, and hopefully I wish him good luck in the rest of the tournament as we continue on. Next week we take on the Nashville Nightmares again. That is, of course, Easy Bake Oven. So yeah, that is going to be an interesting match, and I can't wait for that. So if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Of course, go and check out Lucario Nite, and until next time, I'm JoesphGames and I am out. See you again.